The universe knows no boundaries. It's an ever-flowing source of abundance, always ready to respond to your energy, your focus, and your belief. Think of it as a massive reservoir, overflowing with everything you could ever desire to be, to do, or have. The only thing required of you is to Have you ever wondered why your dreams are still out of reach? When you're sure you have ticked off all the manifestation hacks there is that applies to you, yet results aren't showing up. When you're frustrated and losing confidence in your abilities or started doubting yourself, take heart. It is actually a good sign. It means you are ready to hear what took me 20 years to learn and understand. Hi, I'm Rita and you're in Rit's Narratives. This is not another video to tell you that the things that you are desperately chasing for are not really what you are looking for or what would bring you joy. I am not here to tell you to stop chasing more money, stop chasing the dream job and lifestyle that you want. I'm not going to tell you to stop losing weight or stop trying to achieve more success. No, because that is where my story started. I've been in those shoes before and I've had my shares of troubles. But I'm going to save you years of heartaches and disappointments by sharing the things I have learned for the past 2 decades of my life so you can skip the trial and error stage and live a fulfilling life. You see, I was once a scruffy looking little girl in the Philippines, playing on the street under the sun in my worn out rubber tongs. Now, I am living in Australia with my feet grounded in a life I once only imagined. And I have been given the means to travel to other parts of the world. Exhibit A. I spent a couple of weeks in Japan with my family for a holiday trip. You first need to understand that you can have, do, and be whatever you want. Whatever you want already exists. I think you already know that before you click this video. The universe is just waiting for you to align your whole being to it, and it will lead you to what you want to have, be, and do. Yet, you find yourself asking, why do I feel I'm stuck in a rut? In my 44 years of existence, I have observed that we, as emotional and reckless beings, tend to focus on so much nonsense. We take one wrong road after another, even though there's already a sign pointing to the right path. But the remarkable thing is, we eventually learn and move forward. So maybe failures, making mistakes, getting lost, and being stuck are experiences that are there by design to challenge and mold our characters. Well, if you're in need of direction and don't know where to start, I'm here to share these 5 simple yet powerful tips to help you find your way toward a more fulfilling life. It took me 20 years to learn this, but I hope to share it within 30 minutes with you so you can manifest the life of your dreams, starting now. But let's rewind a bit. When I was younger, I had a lot of insecurities. A lot. You know how it is in the Philippines. People often have some bad jokes or something to say about how you look. Maybe it was only in my head or maybe it wasn't. Either way, I developed an inferiority complex because of my flat nose, my thin hair, and my scar-covered skin. I was 7 years old when I caught a bad case of chickenpox. It covered every inch of my skin. I didn't mind when I was younger, but when I hit my teens, I thought no one would like me. I'm just flawed. This is the first time I'm opening up about it publicly, and honestly, I'm still anxious. I grew up watching teen flick movies where the protagonist transformed from an ugly duckling into a beautiful swan. After watching it, I dreamt of my own transformation too. The flawless skin, the thick flowing hair, the striking features that would signal my becoming. But that moment never came. So instead, I buried myself in books and retreated into my own world, convinced I had nothing special to offer. In hindsight, I regret focusing on what I lacked rather than embracing what I had all along. I wasn't meant to be the loudest person in the room, the life of the party, or the girl who turned heads. I was meant to be the quiet observer, the deep thinker, the compassionate listener who could see beyond the surface. I was meant to be the one who understood before others even spoke, who offered wisdom when it mattered most, but who also found humor in the subtlest moments. Had I known then what I know now, I would have seen the essence of my worth. If somebody told me earlier that what people say about you usually says more about them than it does about you, I would have reached my social potential. I wouldn't have feared joining sports and dancing because of the uniforms that might expose some skin. Good thing I know differently now. That if you see me and think I'm ugly, I'd say, well, so are you. Knowing your worth is like knowing how to be in a relationship with yourself. Do you speak loving words to yourself? Or are you your worst critic? But I didn't know it then. I was just so shy and awkward. I was being sarcastic and exasperated with people who cannot understand me. I had classic middle child drama, if you may. I didn't know what I don't know. I didn't know exactly what I want from life, let alone how to get it. There came a point where I just threw myself in a relationship that is below me, just because I thought no one else would love me and I was running out of time. The universe gave me all the red flags, but I was just a wuss to let go, to be alone. So the mighty universe smacked me hard in the face and beat me into submission, which was messy and painful, way more than it had to be. But I realized eventually that that relationship was toxic anyway, and it was not what I deserved. But here's the thing, that pain, the confusion, the frustration, that quiet ache for more that I went through, they were signals. Those were life's way of nudging me inward, towards self-discovery, toward truth, towards clarity. It was like being in a dimly lit room and all you needed to do to say exactly where to go is to turn on the light. Clarity is everything if you want to manifest what you want in life. For the first 2 decades of my life, I've always felt different from others. It took me some time after that to know that I am an introvert and to grasp what it truly means. Had I known then what I know now, I would have celebrated my introspective side, as it is far more valuable than any fleeting ideal of beauty. Knowing that being an introvert is a strength, a gift that when embraced unlocks a different kind of transformation, one that doesn't require outside validation, but instead a quiet, unshakable knowing of who I am and what I bring to the world. That is my moment of becoming. That is the light bulb fully switched on. If you still don't know your worth, if your purpose isn't clear, if you don't know what you want, ask questions. The right kind, not the melodramatic kind like, why is this happening to me? Or why is life so unfair? Or why do people treat me this way? No, none of that, please. Clarity starts with self-awareness. Ask yourself, what are your values, your strengths, weaknesses, What are your passions and the things that make you feel alive? If you know these things, you wouldn't be easily swayed by status, recognition, or someone else's version of success that they post in social media. I think the individual's value varies at different points in life. Maybe you're past midlife and you just cannot catch up with all the new technology. That doesn't mean you should stop being curious and let the music in you die. For me, I started valuing my faith in God at an early age because I saw how my mother valued hers. I deeply valued education, knowing that my parents didn't get to step foot into university. Seeing how my parents work hard to get 5 kids through college made me realize the power of hard work and determination. Now, as an adult, I value being a wife my husband can lean on and a mom my daughter can look up to. But I also care about my career, not for the title or paycheck, but because it gives me purpose and a way to serve beyond my home. I'm also embracing my creativity, exploring my artistic and introverted side, and making something good about it. I value self development and self expression, not just for personal growth, but to effectively deliver lessons and experiences that will impact and elevate the lives of others. That is why I created this channel, building contents that hopefully would change somebody else's life for the better. I have already visualized what I wanted to do and where I want to go from here. But that was me. Maybe you value something else. Your business thriving, the perfect partner, feeling good about your body. Create your goal as clear as possible based on what you value right now, however young or old you are. If you are in midlife like me, it's the perfect time to reinvent yourself and follow new dreams and passion. The real question is, who does it serve? Are those things going to add value to others? I found that the secret to manifestation is in letting your actions be driven by more than just personal gain. It's about having an abundance and servitude mindset, more life to all and less to none. When you use your strengths, your passions, and what truly fulfills you, not just to elevate yourself, but to lift others along the way, you'll find that the things you want from life come to you so much easier and faster than you ever imagined. I know that being an entrepreneur and running your own company is difficult. More so if you have people relying on your company as their source of income. And then came the pandemic. During the pandemic, my in-laws reached out to us for financial help. There's no business for their small company, so no income. They cannot pay their employees. My husband and I earn just enough. We save a little and invest a little. But those were truly hard times. My parents were hospitalized, and people I knew from high school reached out to me for the first time and were asking for financial aids just to get by. But we were in Western Australia, and compared to the rest of the world, we were doing fine. So we cashed in some of our investments to be able to help out our families and friends. Challenges also pile up when your company landed on a client who delays and doesn't pay what they owe. We got dragged into this situation recently when my in-laws asked us for help again. My husband's first reaction is to troubleshoot the company's issue. Why is there no positive cash flow in the company? Why can't they make the clients pay? Why can't they sue the client? Why can't they create a stricter contract? And he has a point to be defensive. After all, my husband and I made many intentional sacrifices and worked so hard to earn and save. I just told my husband that this is a reminder for us to feel blessed and to be thankful that we are not on the other side of the situation. You know, it's easy to just blame and curse the clients for this tight fix. It's even easier for us to pray for our family. But my husband, after coming to his senses, prayed for the employees who cannot afford to be delayed in their financial obligations. He prayed that the money we lent may ease any of their financial difficulties, because if payments do not arrive on time, the least of those employees might have to borrow money somewhere else to feed their children. You know Oprah Winfrey? She's given away hundreds of millions of dollars. She often said, to move forward, you have to give back. You know what? Just hours after my husband transferred the needed money, he received a message that the client issued a check for a portion of what they owe to the company. What do you think happened there? I think that it's a proof that prayers create ripples of goodness and unlocks barriers. It's the perfect embodiment of the law of attraction in action. Give from abundance, and abundance flows back to you. And it's just like those superhero stories where the hero grows stronger, not for personal gain, but to save the ones in need, serve the greater good. But you don't need to be in a Marvel universe to have this mindset. Be a blessing to others. Nothing is more fulfilling in life. Now, don't buy into the notion that you must prove yourself to anybody else before you achieve what you want. I used to think that there are prerequisites to everything that I want in life. Like when you see successful people, you would think of all the hard work they've done to get where they are, right? But I also thought of all the unfair advantages they have over me. The privileges in their education, family history, and social circle, I considered those as their edge over me. And because I didn't go to that school or wasn't brought up that way or didn't have the same level of experience, I thought I don't deserve to have what they have. For some time, that has been my alibi for passing on challenges or opportunities in life. I was born and raised in the Philippines. When I arrived in Australia, the well-meaning people around me told me that I cannot just land an engineering job in Australia, that I must study again and carry an engineering degree or certificate from an Australian institutions or universities, or I must know or have a good backer. For months, I was downtrodden because I couldn't even get past a job interview, and I almost succumbed to what the well-meaning people around me were saying. But I managed to shake it all off and put the law of attraction into work. Plus, I'm just really stubborn when I have set my heart into something. A few more months later, I landed a job as production engineer here in Perth. I'm telling you this now because I know how it feels to question your worth. But hear this. You are worthy. You are enough. You always have been. The universe knows no boundaries. The universe doesn't require a badge or certificate of completion before it delivers all the goodness that you want in life. It might not instantly appear into existence, not as soon or as fast as how it manifested for others. But don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20. The universe is not withholding anything from you. It's an ever-flowing source of abundance, always ready to respond to your energy, your focus, and your belief. Think of it as a massive reservoir, overflowing with everything you could ever desire to be, to do, or have. The only thing required of you is to turn the tap on. But here's the catch. The size of the container you bring is determined by your mindset. So come prepared. Bring a large bucket. Don't ask small. Don't doubt the flow. Ask boldly. Expect fully. Receive completely. If you think, act, and feel that you deserve it, the universe will provide. That's faith in action. Believe that the universe is arranging for you to meet the right person, to land your dream job, or to be in the right place at the right time to make your dreams come true. Now, the next one is a game changer. But if any of the earlier messages resonated with you, please let me know by leaving a comment and consider subscribing so we can get to know more of each other in our manifestation journey. One thing I often hear successful people do is that they meditate regularly. You see them with a guru with their bell and smoke, sitting on a mat with a beautiful background. It's deep, right? At first, I didn't understand what is it for until I tried a guided meditation from one of Bob Proctor's audiobooks. It worked wonders instantly and I felt renewed. But when I started to do it regularly, it started to feel like a chore to me. I became impatient to finish it so I can go on with my day that I felt sick to my tummy. I tried to listen to a different type of meditation recording, but I felt like it is counterproductive of my day. I didn't understand why I cannot get the full benefit of it. I understood that I have a lot of researching to do on how to meditate properly. Until one day, I was just driving in my car to work and I observed the beautiful skies, the views of the vineyard in my route, the flocks of galas flying overhead, and the river under the bridge. And then I clasped tightly the steering wheel and I became really aware of the present. I breathed deeply and exhaled slowly, and I did it several times until it hit me. All this time, what the meditation is really telling me to do is to be aware of my present. What do you usually hear during a guided meditation? Inhale, exhale, breathe in, breathe out. Feel your body, every single parts of it. Relax and let go of any thoughts. Be in the present. At that moment in my car, I wasn't closing my eyes. I wasn't lying down. I wasn't trying to force my thoughts to quiet down. But I was in the flow and on a natural high. As I became aware of my present, gratitude overfilled my being. I said thank you to the beautiful skies, to the lovely view of my daily commute. I said thank you to my car that always gets me to where I needed to go. I said thank you for the best of health that I am breathing deeply. And I said thank you to our jobs that provide us our means of income. I said thank you for the protection and safety of my husband and daughter and all of my loved ones. And then a familiar feeling came to me. You know that feeling when you throve and overcame a difficult situation, like passing a board exam or driving exam, for example, or that feeling when I received our visa grant for permanent residency in Australia. That feeling when I got accepted in an engineering job in Australia when everyone else around me said differently. I held on to that triumphant feeling for as long as I can and said my gratitude several times. And I believe in my heart that the universe is matching that feeling and sending more of that frequency to me. If you recognize the present, you will be able to levitate your whole being into a higher level of emotion, which is gratitude. And then you will manifest more things to be grateful for. Gratitude is where your whole being must stay to manifest whatever you want. You've seen and heard this before. You probably have read it in books. And now I practically showed you how to truly be grateful and be grounded in the present. Recall those moments of glory in your life and feel the joy through your bones. Do this again and again. Manifesting is not just about being positive. It's a way of life. It is today. Every waking hours are an integral part of your tomorrow. Whoever you are today, you can create the version of yourself that is deserving of your dreams. You now know the way. Know your worth. Be clear about what you want in life. Have an abundance and servitude mindset. Put your faith into action and be in the present. If it sounds like work, then there's gotta be a payoff, right? Good things take time, patience, and the right mindset. Don't waste your life. Start manifesting your dream life now.